There were times when I wanted to give up on you. Believed you were there, but I couldn't feel you. Then you stepped in, you came to see me through. You never left me. Even though I made my share of mistakes, I never paid the price that I should have.
Whoop, whoop. So I'm here with the amazing composer. We're going to call you a composer because you are master of all things, right?
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Lamont Sanders. Mr. Sanders, you started playing instruments while in grade school, denoting on some of your interviews that, you know, while you were learning playing these instruments, it was under your mother, who was much like Ike Turner. Can you elaborate on that?
Man, it's like I was excited to play my first instrument. And when I, felt like I was getting good at it, she's like, okay, good. I got to come talk to your band teacher. We're going to switch instruments. I'm like, switch? Yeah, because you got that one. I'm like, isn't that the point? And she was like, yeah, but. So I got a second one. And the next thing I know, she took me off the trumpet, put me on the baritone horn. And she's like, okay, now you're going to play drums. Now you're going to play saxophone. I'm like, are you serious? So it was always a switch up. And then I didn't catch on. And of course, I was too young to realize what was being done. Or I would have tried to peel back.
Okay.
But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it. I really am.
Okay. Now, back in the day, kids would schedule a meetup to fight at the school. But you did something totally different. Can you tell us what that was and who it was with?
Wow, you have done some homework. You are. In high school, I met up with Wanye from Boyz II Men at the flagpole. And we had a sing-off. And everybody's outside the school, like, who's fighting? I mean, everybody's around the flagpole, like, and we sang and, I did my thing, he did his thing. And that was really the beginning of my career. At that moment, he actually gave me a connection with Robert Cool from Kool and the Gang. And I started singing with his sons that was starting a group at the time. I don't know if you remember the group POV, but they did a song with the group Jade. But yeah, that was the beginning of my professional career, I could say.
Yeah, that was way back when. Now, yes. And not only that, because you forgot to say you won by default, but you kind of lost that battle.
I don't like really saying that part, so I don't know how you. But yeah, I did win. I did win by default because it was my school. He had just transferred. He had just got kicked out of the arts school, so he just came to my school. I had been there 3-4 years, so everybody knew. Mike can sing. So
right.
But I think about 3 months later, Motown Philly came out, and it was like, he's that dude, and we know Wanye can sing. So
right, but you can sing too. You can sing too, and it's interesting because you're welcome. Who was your favorite artist, and who did you dress like?
Oh my goodness, we did this high school play. I'm about to give it all to you now. Since you knew so, I'm going to give you some more. Since you knew so much, I'm going to give you some more. My mother was, she was a special education teacher. At the same time, she did a Black History play every year for Black History Month. And when I tell you, that was like the community that all of us that was from different churches came together. So Wanye actually tried out one year. He was there. And I used to think I was John P. Key. So every jacket John had, the mustard, the green one, the purple one. And at that time, Ty Tribbett played the keyboard for me. Ty was the keyboard player. So it was Ty, you talking about Ryan Toby from City High. Like, we had a lot of people in our high school.
Right.
But we put on this play every year, and it was just like fun to get together. And interesting enough, I thought I was John P. Key. I really thought. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't John P. Key. And it's interesting because as when we got older, Ty went to go sing at Pastor Key's church. And he said, "Mike, you want to go with me?" And so I got on the bus, went to North Carolina, and I was so nervous. I wouldn't sing.
What?
Ty tried to give me like the hookup, but I was like, well, that is Pastor John P. Key. So now to this day, it's like that is my, like, I've always wanted to do something with John P. Key. Definitely.
What is that? 6 degrees of separation. Is
right.
that, do you think that's what, like, when you think about certain parts of your life, that the connections and where you were and where you are now, that 6 degrees of separation?
I believe in it. I really do. I really do. And it's become closer. I think it might be even closer now, especially with like social media and people being able to touch, get in touch with people. Definitely.
Well, you've always been a rock star. You even worked with Babyface, and you turned down a huge record deal just to stay in alignment with God, because you were out there cutting up as a youngin', as most of us do. So could you give us a little bit about that? Because now you're at a space to where you're having success after success after success, but we got to go to your humble beginnings first to even come to this point if you want to inspire other artists up under you.
Right.
So tell us about that time frame of what made you turn down the record. Like, what was going on? You don't have to tell me everything, but just a little piece that led you to gospel music.
Well, being born and raised in the church, I really hadn't identified yet the difference between the crossover of music. Because my dad played piano, so he did like nightclubs, and then my dad played for the church on Sunday morning. My mom was the choir director, so music was just music to me. Right. So I hadn't identified that was Earth, Wind, and Fire and John P. I hadn't, so when I was given this opportunity, and my mother and father was like, "Cool in the Gang, we'll drive you to the house." They drove me to the house.
Wow.
Because you realize that's their era. So they appreciate it, so it was just, it was a journey that I didn't know was a journey. I just thought it was music.
Right.
And then when I got signed with Babyface and we were in the studio, and he was like, "It's just something about your voice." And, you had heard that same saying in the church growing up. People saying you're anointed, that's God's call on your voice. So when you hear someone outside say, it's just like mesmerized. And I'm like, you know what it is because where you come from. You know what I'm saying? So that early seed had already been planted. That you kind of knew the difference between the anointing. So now I'm like, am I prostituting this gift that God gave me? Like, I was like so confused and then trying to make it make sense to myself. Like, it can't be that bad, right?
Right.
It's music. But, as time went on and in that era, lyrics got worse and worse. It went from baby to now we in the Jodeci phase. Now it's like, "Give me, look." They all over the place now. So, as I was growing, I was learning like, wow, there's a difference. So then I went on this tour, this R&B tour, and I was singing, and the crowd was screaming. And I went after the show was over. I went to the tour bus, and I felt like God sat right next to me, and was like, "So do you hear them screaming?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sounds good." Right. No. And he's like, "No, they're calling not my name, your name." And I'm like, so the Bible says, "If I be lifted up, I'll draw all men." So to me, that was like the aha moment. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go home and figure this out. And what I mean by figure this out, like, I didn't even look at the gospel industry as the same. I felt like I was gonna leave the industry and go gospel. Right. And then I've been watching gospel artists now chase the industry. So I'm I'm confused. Like, right. But so me and God had to have a sit down. Like, there are some similarities, but if you do my work and you do it right, it can be done effective. Okay. So I've called you to do something. Don't chase the others. Do what I called you to do. And I didn't listen to that. Now everybody had a praise and worship album. I want to do a praise and worship album. Like, I wanted to go. He's like, no. I got some edge for you. but it has to be me.
Period.
It can't be you. It has to be me. So yeah, so I seek his face for the material, for the songs, for the okay, and again, because I want to make sure it's him. Like, I'm like, are you sure?
Right. So would you say this statement is your life or you? Many are called, but few are chosen.
Absolutely. 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 And even when, I have to remind myself, because sometimes when it seems like I'm not where I want to be, I'm exactly where he wants me to be.
Fact.
It's
right.
like, oh, and we're always seeing our friends and somebody else. Well, he said, are you doing it for that, or are you doing it for me?
Right.
Let
for his
me
will.
Let me do what I do when I do it. See, that's the problem. We on our own time, and then he's like, no, all time belongs to me.
Fact.
I know, but I've been doing it so many. Chill, I got you. You know what I'm saying? This is my plans that I have for you. So I'm like, okay, guy, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Plans to prosper you.
The more I submit, the more he elevates. And then what happens is I start getting excited. And it's like, oh, you want me to do it? I didn't ask you to do it. Have a seat, son. So he's doing what he's doing in his time.
Right. It takes 20 years to be an overnight success. So I love the song as well as the visuals. He kept me. I love the rain in the living room, just going through the quiet storm at home.
There were times when I wanted to give up on you, believed you were there, but I couldn't feel you. Then you stepped in, you came to see me through. You never left me, even though I made my share of mistakes. I never paid the price that I should have.
Now, how does that song resonate with your life now?
Ooh, well, since you saw the video, you did see a picture of a beautiful woman, which is my mother. And in the beginning of the video was my brother. I lost my brother to COVID. It was the first 4,000. And my mother passed 18 months after that.
Crazy.
So me releasing He Kept Me as a song to the world was a testimony. At the same time, it was also affirmation and confirmation every time I sang it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
And when I first wrote the record, I really looked at it as how I went through the R&B, and it seemed very trivial now.
Right.
It's like, okay, you did the R&B, and then you come back, and he kept you, like prodigal son. Whew, you got back in time. Thank you, God. You didn't return while I was in the midst of something I had no business doing. You know what I'm saying? So
facts.
I thank him for that. But he kept me.
Right.
Little did I know that He Kept Me would become a little bit deeper, because now I'm going through therapy for a numerous of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get my mind right, because you just lost your baby brother who you couldn't protect, and now you lose your mother, who was like, my mother was my number one fan. Like, there's gotten to the point where my brother, I didn't even want to do music anymore, because he was such a musical genius to me. And I lost my, I couldn't get past that win. You know what I'm saying? So I had lost that. So, a guy called me. God is amazing. Somebody called me and said, will you do praise and worship at my church? And I'm like, so you're looking at the dollars and the cents, and you say, oh, you know what? I do need the money. And for me, I went for the money. And as I ministered every week, it became more of what I needed. And the money wasn't much, but it was like, it was more along the terms of, you need to get back on the saddle. Right. And, so that got me back up when my brother passed. And then when my mother passed, I didn't miss a Sunday, because I had realized that my strength came from doing what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where your strength is, don't you put your strength down. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
It's power in your strength. So He Kept Me is like a testimony that will live with me forever. And, I'm going to let you ask your next question, but it ties in.
It all ties in. I mean, your story ties in. It's all relevant. And you hit Billboard 100 at the #1 spot, and that doesn't happen. So you being obedient allowed you to do that. So yeah, your book of Job, I mean, it is what it is. And I say that because I know you got in some trouble, some serious trouble when you were younger, but again, the book of Job. So, and he takes, he takes those that we love God does to test our faith. And you have remained obedient and faithful. So, where do you want to see your success go next?
One of the things that pricks at me is when I find out someone I went to high school with or someone who I've known in my past passes and goes on.
Right.
And I'm not sure if I had a chance to put that song inside of that. Like, so honestly, just want to be used to get God's word to people. Like, you know what I'm saying? To let them know, because even the state of where we are in the church and things of that nature, I need people to understand that it's about a real relationship with God. Like, it's really not about somebody. We all got church hurt.
Facts.
Somebody,
I don't know.
Somebody somewhere stepped on your toe. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but did God step on you? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I've been there too. Like, even when I did the R&B, I felt like the church looked at me a certain way. They ostracized me. And then when you come back, you got some church people who don't even realize, they don't realize whether you're back to sing, to entertain, or if God really put a shift in your life.
Right.
And interesting enough, I was just talking about that with someone this week. My pastor preached on Sunday. Some people can't see God in you because there's no God in them.
Right. That's a fact.
They can't even recognize change because they still, they've been doing it so long. It's a traditionalized church. So it's like, oh, well, how do you dress when you go to church? Like, what does saved look like?
What does it look like?
Yeah, you should feel love.
Right.
Love. When
I get the side eye.
Right. And it's like, is that spiritual? Is that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Scriptural?
Right.
Scriptural, not spiritual. Scriptural.
Right.
So the side eye, like. So, it's really about, me personally just want to just enforce and push God on people. I want people to know it's between you and God.
Right.
Lamont doesn't have a heaven or hell to put you in.
Okay.
And neither does Deacon so-and-so and Sister so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You and God, y'all get locked in. That's really what I want people to know. You and God get locked in. Keep it tight.
Period.
Yeah.
Now, you have had success, as we mentioned. You have performed at the Stellar Awards before, but now you're nominated in 3 categories. Big ups to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you're performing again. So how does it make you feel that they could have selected anyone else, but they called on you?
My mother was a praying mother. And I feel like when she went to heaven, her and God, they tight.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm be honest with you, I feel like a lot of things has happened to me since she's gone on. It's just been her and God, like, really cooking up. Because I'm like, I'm so unworthy, but I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
And it's like, only thing that keeps me going and wanting more is that's just how I'm driven.
Right.
But if he does nothing else, he's done enough. Like, he's done, like, wow. So he blows my mind, and I'm like, why me? And once I get past the why me, then the nerves settle in on, you got something to do.
Right.
But the why me definitely stands out because he could have chosen anyone. Even, with the gift he's given me, could have gave it to anyone.
Your mama wasn't having that.
She was gonna see to it, right?
That's a fact, Jack. So, now you have a new song out. What is the inspiration behind If Only I Knew? Or, If I Only Knew. I'm sorry. If I Only Knew.
We've said that statement for years. If I only knew then. If I only knew then. If I only knew then. So it, like I said earlier, ties with my testimony, because if I only knew then what I know now, I would have praised him a long time ago. It wouldn't have been other choices and other things I got involved in. I did not understand how powerful being committed to God was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not people, committed to God. prayer life is the most important thing. If I only knew that, if I knew that it was about really humbling yourself, getting on your face and just seeking God, I'm like, wow, it works.
Facts.
So
right.
So that's really what it is, and it's interesting because we had a call last week, excuse me, for the video. We're about to shoot the video for it, and I was so blessed by the video team, the videographer and the director, because the vision they have, they didn't even know what I was going through when I wrote it, what I was thinking. But when they gave the vision back to me and said everything that God said, I knew it was like confirmation. Like, this song is a revival. It's time for people to come back. Those who never came before, you can really, like, all he wants is a yes.
Right.
Why? Well, I gotta be this way, I gotta be that way. No, give him your yes.
Right. You can still be yourself.
You be you.
Yeah.
And watch what he does with your yes.
That's right.
He's gonna blow your mind with your yes, because it's like everybody's ministry is different. Everybody's purpose is different. But yes, we all can say yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And your purpose changes from season to season. And once you finish one assignment, he gives you another one. It's just like, God, dog, can I relax, God? God,
yes.
almighty.
He like, I need you.
Nope, my faithful servant, you the one. So if there was one thing you can change from your past, if given the understanding that you have now, what would that look like? It could be anything, something small, something major.
It definitely would have been a sooner yes.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a sooner yes. I did a lot of things on my own, merit, and even decisions in life, like, from hooking up with the wrong person.
Right.
I wasted so many years, and time is valuable. You can't get that time back.
Right.
But if I would have seek God, to seek Him first in all these things,
I'm telling you,
I had him on like the 5 list. Like, I'm gonna do this, then pray. Should have prayed first. So yeah, definitely.
And I can test. No, I never got married, but time I say, Lord, if this is not in your will, let it pass me by. And I'm like, but I liked him, God.
but look what you did though. You gave it up. You listen.
But I liked him. Now, it's interesting that you've been a singer since Motown Philly, but you still consider yourself a new artist. Why is that?
Good question. I guess because a lot of people still don't know. Mm-hmm. They still don't know. Some people just don't know. So it's funny because I've talked to people on certain boards, and I'm like, well, I'm a new artist. Like, who are you been? But industry wise, should I say the inside of the industry may know, but I think the fans in the world doesn't. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like still new to a lot of people, So that's what I consider new. But I believe God's about to do something miraculous in the next couple of months.
Oh yeah, 3 nominations. It speaks to itself. So not only that, you have your own record label. Can you tell us about that?
Whew. Well, independence is a serious thing.
Yes, it is.
Entrepreneurship and independence go hand in hand. God has called us all to own our own company and be able to give back to the earth and to the world. It should be like more of a barter system. What I can do for you, what you can do for me. That's So, with that being said, I never wanted my own company because when you were signed with 2 major labels before, you watched everybody else do
the work.
But I will do the work. All they want you to do is go be an artist, go be creative. Mm-hmm. But having your own company does put a different perspective on things. I value people's time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I value my team's time. I got one of the best teams God just hooked me up with, and I'm so excited. I'm overexcited. I got to step back sometime. Once again, when he does something, I'm like, ooh. He like, chill. I got you. I just put you with these people, relax, you know. But I respect their time, but I respect their gifts.
Right.
So when you have your own label, when you put people in position to do what they do, let them do what they do.
Facts.
You know, it's a hard thing to try to micromanage when that's not what God gave me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's fun. It has its challenges. But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. It's definitely something exciting.
It's yours. Period.
Yes.
So you run, and community-wise, you're still giving back. You run your own celebrity basketball championship or game. Can you tell us about that?
Interesting. Excuse me. Interesting enough, the basketball game, I believe, was my mother also. Mm-hmm. It was something that we talked about doing. I had ran into, well, Ty actually came home to see my mom, you know, when she was laid to rest, and him and Jonathan McReynolds kept going back and forth, talking about, you know, I'll do this and I'll do that. I'm like, if I put this game together, will y'all play?
Right.
And they're like, put it together, put it, stop, you know, they're talking. So I'm like, all right, you know, don't threaten me with a good time.
Okay.
So my wife and I started to put the game together, and somebody was like, you know, are you going to get sanctioned by the Stellas? And I'm like, sanctioned? I didn't know what that, I was like, you know, didn't know. So we said, all right, well, we'll make a phone call. So we asked, and they said, well, sure, we'll sanction you. We're like, wow, you know, right. And it was huge. It was huge to us because we didn't know of the sanction.
Right.
And then calls started coming in from the players wanting to play. They kept coming into us, but they also started going into the Stellas. Like, you guys are doing a basketball game, we want to play. So now they're calling us with players, and it's like, it was just like becoming overwhelming. I'm like, wow, this is great. So with that being said, you know, I tell you, I believe in mental health, and my wife, we're advocates for that. And so we do it to in partnerships with mental health, you know, agencies wherever the game is held. Like, that's our thing. We want to get doctors on site. If people want to talk about, you know, I'm not okay, you got to know it's okay to not be okay. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That's really the driving force behind the celebrity game. So we love that the players want to play, but we really want to get, you know, the mental health part, you know, especially with our culture. We want people to have somebody to talk to. Times like this, you want to vent, you want to get it off your chest. So we went to go do the game, and the first game was the first year. That's why I said I think it was my mother. The first year that I got to perform at the Stellas. So 8 days before the basketball game, 8 days before Stellas, they called and said I was performing. Mm-hmm. So now I come out of basketball planning mode, and my wife takes it and runs with it. I'm like, I got to get prepared for this. This is the performance of my life. Are you serious? So it was very fun. But God was all in it. Even the night that the doors opened at 6:00. I had rehearsal across town in Atlanta. You know, Atlanta traffic is terrible. So I had rehearsal at 6:00, and the doors opened at 6:00 across town for my first game. So I'm like, this is crazy. But, you know, and we asked Dr. John Jackson to make the first basket. So I'm in rehearsal with him.
Right.
And he's critiquing me on my rehearsal. And I'm like, I wanted time to stop, because you can't really get that time with someone like him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The fact that he was giving me like gems, and he's like, I want you to look at the audience. I want you to give them energy here. And I'm like, you know, I felt like I was with Quincy Jones. Like, you know, you're getting taught by one of the, you know, the greats. So, but the game is starting at 6:00. So we got to get back across town. I walk in, there's 300 people outside getting turned away. And I'm like, can I get in my own game? So I get in the game, and it's sold out. I'm like, God, you are amazing. So it's been a great journey with these games. And then the following year, we were asked to bring it to Dove. So now we're at Dove also. But yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. We love to see everybody come out. The players, man, the energy they get, the trash talking. And I think the greatest thing that the fans enjoy is watching the players be in a different element. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's usually a worship prompt or a worship moment. They now get to see them at like cousin Luke from the family reunion. You know.
Now I have two more questions. How do you define success?
You are sharp. You have some good questions. I believe the way I was raised, success is really defined by peace.
Right.
And love and peace. Like my mother and my father, we didn't really we weren't wealthy, but it was myself, my brother, and my two sisters. And we were taught that the dollar is not success. You know, we had a house that was full of love, you know. And I remember me going on a field trip, my mom gave me $1. She said, here's your $1 for your, you know, you buy something while you're out. I said, oh, I got a whole $1. She's like, no. You got 4 quarters and 4 brothers and sisters. Make sure you bring everybody something back. I'm like, so we were raised like money has never been something we have a dispute over. If I got it, she got it, I got it. So success to me is just love and peace, you know. And my wife is funny because my wife, well, you know, my current marriage, I was married before. Her dad emphasized to her that a man's home is his peace.
Right.
And we don't argue. She and I do not argue. So it's like, to me, that's success. Like I come home to come home. You know what I'm saying? It's enough out in the world going on, you know. So when I get to come home and it's me, it's like, so love and peace is success to me.
Well, they say if you cost peace, you cost too much.
Wow.
So
you cost peace. If you cost peace, you cost too much. I like that. I like that.
Now, what more can your listeners and fans expect from you?
Definitely expect some more music. I got so much music in the vault, and we're just trying to figure out how to get it out. But it's a diverse. It's very diverse. I believe he kept me, and I was really shocked to see he kept me go #1 on the gospel side as an urban contemporary record. If I only knew is you know, it's churchy. But you know, you just never know what you're gonna get from it. You really don't, because I'm just being obedient to God with what music goes out next. But everything has a different sound. Everything has a different calling. This next record I'm hoping to put out, it talks to the world. It's called Hold On, but it talks about politics and dirty campaigning. Yeah, it talks.
It's again relevant.
Yes.
My final question, where can our viewers follow you and download your music?
You can follow me at Twitter, at Facebook, at IG, at Lamont Sanders. My music is on any digital platform that you prefer. Anywhere you like listening to music, Lamont Sanders is there. And thank you so much. I appreciate you for this time and your platform that you've given to me.
Thank you. And I wish you all the best in success, and not luck, because it's never luck. I mean, it sounds good to say it, but it's never luck. It's always God. So I wish you much success and rooting for you in one of those categories, if not all.
Oh, I receive it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
There were times when I wanted to give up on you. Believed you were there, but I couldn't feel you. Then you stepped in, you came to see me through. You never left me. Even though I made my share of mistakes, I never paid the price that I should have.